There are many, many things that I love about stacking silver and gold. The benefits are seemingly endless, and it can really change your view on life. It can change your view on finances. It can change your buying decisions drastically. And typically, from what I've seen, people that have started stacking and stuck with it for just a few months are never the same again. It is truly a gift that I discovered this hobby, and it really does perplex me as to why it's not more popular than it is. Hopefully one day stacking will be a mainstream method of saving money and preserving it over time, but that remains to be seen. But us stackers know that it is an incredible way to save money. But along with all the countless benefits that stacking can provide your life, there are a few downsides, and I do use the word few very, very strongly because there's really not a whole lot to hate about stacking silver and gold. But without further ado, let's talk about a few of the downsides of stacking silver and gold. Let's get into it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe as we push hard for 4,000 subs. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. Whenever I started stacking silver, the last thing that I expected was the addiction that came along with it. And I think a lot of new stackers go through this phase in their stacking journey, and that phase is the addiction phase. Whenever you pick up your first few ounces, no matter how many they may be, once you feel that weight in your hands and you know the value that you are holding, you're likely to get a decent sized dopamine rush within just a few seconds. And by the time you set your metals down for the night, there's likely a lingering giddy feeling of what you're going to pick up next. And now this is all very fun, but what I think some stackers potentially fail to realize is this stuff is expensive and the cost adds up very, very quickly. And it can be easy to fall into bad buying habits, whether it's using all of your expendable fiat and then running up a credit card, or making too many sacrifices in regards to spending time with family, taking the old lady out on a date, or just overall isolating yourself in the goal of saving as much money as possible to stack more metals. It is very possible to take a few wrong turns whenever you start stacking silver and gold, and there is no real right way to do this. And there aren't a whole lot of resources that can provide strategies as to how to approach the hobby of stacking silver and gold. And I think there are a few stackers that have burned themselves. They associate negative feelings with stacking because they had a bad initial experience, maybe going in a little bit too heavy, racking up some high interest credit card debt, and that really just kills the fun of all of it. The whole purpose of this is to put yourself in a better financial situation, but if you jump in too deep and you're not great at treading water, you're not going to have the best time. So it's important to stay mindful of your purchases. It's important to retain your logical thinking when it comes to stacking silver and gold, but that can be very, very difficult as a new stacker once you get bit by that silver and gold bug. Nonetheless, the last thing you want to do is be in a bad position and have to turn around and sell your metals to be able to cover financial obligations, because you're likely to lose out on some of that money you spent due to the buy-sell spread of precious metals. These are meant to be held for a very, very long time, or at least several years. So buying it on the first paycheck of the month and having to turn around and sell it to cover a few bills isn't a whole lot of fun. Ultimately, it's better than blowing your money on some plastic that you're going to use 2 or 3 times and then forget about. So even this aspect of stacking that I'm not too terribly fond of isn't all that bad. The next thing that really bothers me about silver and gold stacking is the fact that I can't tell anybody about it. I can't talk about this with friends. I really can't even talk about it with family. It's not that I don't trust my family or I don't trust my friends. It's the fact that I can't control whether they make an accidental, spontaneous utterance to someone else that I don't No. I have a lot of trust in my loved ones and a lot of trust in my few friends that I do have, but I have absolutely no trust in someone that I don't know. And as a result, I have to keep quiet about it. It is somewhat of a constant struggle. I've been stacking for over a year, and still there have been plenty of occasions where I just wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about how fun it is. I wanted to talk about how engaging and how beneficial it is. There's been countless times where it's just right there on the tip of my tongue, but I must remain the gray man. If you are a stacker, it is my opinion that you've got to remain unknown, even with family and friends. So that is kind of a constant struggle that I deal with in regards to stacking, is the fact that I can't talk about it, and that's never going to change. The next thing that I'm not too terribly fond of in regards to silver stacking is the fact that it requires a ton of patience. It's not the same as investing in cryptocurrency. It's not the same as investing in the S&P 500. And the reality is that metals do tend to have long periods of time where they remain very, very stagnant. That may not be the case in the current day, as silver jumps $10 in the past year and gold jumps, I don't know, $900 in the past year. In between these bullish and bearish markets, there are long periods of stagnation. And that can shake a lot of stackers' confidence in regards to the effectiveness of their stacking. We all work very, very hard for our money, and whenever we put it into metals, we'd like to see it appreciate at least a little bit over extended periods of time. But the truth is there are decent portions of time where it won't go up. It won't even go down. You won't even be able to buy at what you consider a discount at the time. Sometimes it just moves sideways. And whenever those stagnant times come again, I will be telling myself that this is just a buying opportunity. Even if it doesn't dip, if it only moves sideways with no significant dips, that is without a doubt still a great time to accumulate more wealth, in my personal opinion, not financial advice. We live in a very impatient world, but stacking is of the world past. Nothing about society wants you to be stacking silver and gold. So it can be a little bit difficult to change your mindset, change your expectations, change how you perceive stacking whenever the price action is stagnant. I've said it before and I'll say it again, stacking is a patient man's game, and the times of patience are coming. And my final pet peeve in regards to stacking is security. When it comes to stacking, your metals have to be secure. And as your stack grows, the more necessary solid security becomes. I'd much rather buy a ½ ounce of gold or 3/4 of an ounce of gold than put that money into a giant metal box that I have to stick in my house. Safes cost money, and good safes cost even more money. And that's just a healthy cost that stackers have to accept. Unless you're the type to just leave it out laying around, if that's how you want to do things, by all means go for it. But is it the smartest thing to do? Maybe, maybe not. But if that's not something that you're particularly worried about, you can always stick your net worth under your mattress. But anyways, guys, those are a few of my pet peeves when it comes to stacking. Ultimately, does it affect my overall buying strategy? Does it dishearten me in any way, shape, or form whenever I'm looking to pick up more metals in the future? Absolutely not. The benefits significantly outweigh the cons. But in any case, let me know what you guys have to say about this topic. What are some things that annoy you, get under your skin a little bit in regards to stacking silver and gold? Stay safe out there, everybody. Peace.